but not least, math. I'm Deborah Rallenbeck, the grade 6 math teacher. I've started off straight off with the slide, well, what are we going to learn? Because that's one of the big concerns. Math is a little bit different from other subjects where we really have to check off the skills so that the students are ready for the next stage. So that's an overview of the topics we're going to cover, but please be aware they will not be done as isolated topics. The course is an integrated course, so we will cover different things and make links between them because, for example, isolating fractions from the real world, which might come in through geometry, the students don't have the actual understanding of what the fractions are. So that was just a very quick introduction. But if you want to really find out more and answer those questions that about the depth of what's going to be taught in the math course, please, next slide, please, go to PSL. Now the next slide. Yeah. PSL is Power School Learning. It's a place where, oops, you've skipped 2 slides. On Power School Learning, you'll be able to find the course descriptions, you'll be able to find all my resources, and including, just like Miss Forbes in the English classroom, we're learning a new language in math as well. And so one of the things that is a glossary with vocabulary that the students are going to be learning. And communication is a huge focus in grade 6 math, communicating verbally about process and obviously in writing as well. So if your sons and daughters say they're working on the computer and they don't need to write anything down, ask them again. Again, picking up on what Ms. Forbes says, there's so much evidence out there about the importance of the process of writing ideas down in order to strengthen those. And so I'm always expecting the students to be working usually in their notebooks, sometimes on other paper sources, but in their notebooks there's a lot. You will, on PSL, I also include homework, and if we can move on to the next slide. I had to sneak in a picture of my dog. He's the one on the right who's stretching. In the math classroom, I have a complete range of students with different ability levels in math, and some of them may be strong in one area, but they're not so good in another area because they've moved schools, for example. And so I've built my program around 3 levels: safe, standard, and stretch. Standard is grade 7 level, and for almost all my assignments, I'll assign grade at the standard level. If your son and daughter finds it particularly difficult, they can have a look at the safe option. And sometimes when they look at the safe option, it has a better explanation, or not necessarily another explanation or a review, and then they'll get that aha moment and they'll be able to move back and complete the standard work. For other students, they might already be ready to move on, in which case I'll usually encourage them to do the stretch option. I find it very important at this stage in the school year to say, please do not expect them to do all of everything that I assign. I strictly adhere to a 30-minute homework. They sit down, once they get started, 30 minutes. And I can usually tell if a student has worked for 30 minutes or not. But please, although we perhaps went to school, maybe I'm older than many of you as parents now, but went to school and it was like you were given 10 questions or maybe 20 questions and you had to finish those and that was it. That's not my approach. 30 minutes at the right level is the best option for your son or daughter. If we can move on to my final slide there. I had a student in my class who created this wonderful whiteboard in my class yesterday or the day before. And it was a student who started off by creating that little red man, and she was looking at me, and even with the mask, I could see her looking at me going, I don't get this at all. And she drew this little guy going, what? I encouraged her to use the resources that she had. She already had some notes in her notebook and some notes in her binder. And at this stage in the school year, the students are still learning how to organize themselves. So I pointed her in the right direction, guided her through that. And the sense of achievement that she had when she succeeded in doing it created not only the little green guy there saying, I get it now, but also that sense of, I can learn, I can lead my own learning. And the best way you can support your sons and daughters, positive attitude to math. I think some people have had a different experience of math in school particularly, and sometimes say, oh, I'm no good at math, I can't do math. If you say that, your sons and daughters might pick up on that and say the same themselves. Whereas if you can try the, what resources do you have? How can we move on? Or tell me about it. Let's have a look at this together. I think you'll find that will help them in the right direction. And if your son or daughter is saying math is boring, then first of all, there's usually one of two reasons for that. One is they're trying to do something that's too hard and they don't understand it. The other is they're trying to do something that's too easy and they're bored out of their mind. So we've got to pitch them at the right level, safe, standard, or stretch. And if you need some help in identifying that or helping them identify that, I'm very happy to have conversations with you about it. But so far the kids are getting it, and we've had a great start, and I hope it continues that way. There we go. Thank you.
Right on time. We did it.
Mary, you're mute.
You're mute, Mary.
Thanks. So we really want to thank everybody for coming. This is not a good environment for questions, but we do welcome your questions. If you could email us, email your child's advisor, or email the teacher who is involved. We do want to hear from you. It's just not a very conducive environment on Zoom to answer a lot of questions. We want to thank you, and we want to recognize the students because they're making a really excellent effort to respect what we're asking them to do to keep us all safe in terms of.
Stop. Wasn't me.
Wearing their masks and cleaning their desks. They're doing a really positive attitude. And I just can't emphasize how much we're happy to have them with us, and how fortunate we feel to get to know them at the beginning of the year in case we have to go to distance learning. We're so grateful that we've had the chance, and that we continue to have the chance to spend time with them here in school.
I'd like to add one thing. The sixth grade is going to be complete as of next week or 10 days because Alejandro just got his visa, and so they are on their way.
Brilliant.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.